Hey, good afternoon, everyone. This is Austin and Johnny from talking about sports today. On Tuesday, the NFL released a article on their power rankings based off of everything happening after the free agents and what's going to happen this upcoming season. So, me and Johnny sort of did our own lists based off of that. Try to compare the two today. Johnny's going to go ahead and get started with that.
All right, so the NFL experts have the Jaguars as the worst team currently in the NFL, power-wise, like after last season, and then with all the free agency stuff that went on. And we disagreed with that. We have the Jaguars very bad, don't get me wrong, but we have the Redskins worse, which I feel is justified because what exactly do they have going right now?
Yeah.
So that's what we have there, and that's really all there is to it. I mean, they're bad. And then we had the Jaguars at 31. So like we said, they're also bad. They actually had the Redskins also 31. So we just flip flopped them basically.
Yeah,
And
not a
then
big change there.
they had the Panthers stupid far down the list at 30. And we had the Dolphins there, which the Dolphins, they had them at 26, I believe. We had them drop 4 spots.
Yeah,
So
Dolphins are going to be bad this year.
mhm. And I mean, the Panthers still have the best running back in football. Like, come
Oh,
on
yeah.
now. Like, they're
I
not
mean,
going to
it's
be
not like
that bad.
Yeah, I mean their quarterback situation, you can't really complain about it either with Teddy Bridgewater coming in.
Yeah, so we think that's like that's a big area we disagree on there. And then
Yeah,
29, they have Cincinnati, and we have the Giants. They actually had the Cincinnati Bengals going up 2 spots from going from 31 to 29. We actually have Cincinnati up at 24. We have them stupid far up. We have them +5 of where they said. So we are big Joe Burrow believers because that's who they be drafting. So,
Joey football.
and then we both have at 25, Austin, you can take over if you want to. We can do it like that if you want. But
That's fine.
at 28, we actually matched them with the Lions. Uh, Seems like a pretty typical place for Detroit to land. They're cursed.
Yeah, they
So, and then the Giants, they had them at 27. We actually had the Giants way down at 29. And then at 27, we had the Jets. And the reason we have the Jets down that low is because their division is super tough. And yeah, I think the Bills and the Patriots are going to guarantee them 4 losses probably. So,
yeah, especially with Stephon Diggs going to the Bills.
mm-hmm. All right. Then at 26, they had the Dolphins. That's where they had the Dolphins at. And we have the Broncos there, which they had the Broncos at 27. So we just actually knocked them down one. Uh, See, the Broncos are a team, like, out of all the ones we talked about, I could see them being up higher than that, maybe. Like, I could see them actually being surprisingly decent because we really don't know what they got going on. Their defense
Yeah,
could be pretty decent again. So we'll see. And then the Chargers we have at 25, and that's we bumped them down one. We actually bumped the Chargers and the Broncos down one each off of their list. They had the Chargers at 24 and the Broncos at 25. So, uh, uh, actually, like after making this list, I could see the Broncos doing better than the Chargers, just because like the Chargers just like fell apart.
yeah.
But
I mean,
they'll be pretty close. They're both pretty bad.
yeah, it all depends on if the Broncos can actually have a quarterback show up this year. That's really all it is. So moving on to what they had for 24, as we just said, the Chargers they had at 24. We actually moved the Bengals up quite a bit up to 24. Like we said previously, Joe Burrow and we trust.
Hmm.
So moving on to 23, they have the Cardinals there. We've actually moved them up here quite a bit.
Oh yeah,
Um,
we moved them up super far.
yeah, the Raiders we dropped down two. They were at 21. We moved them to 23 because they're Oakland. They kind of picked up some, just some like secondary guys from everybody this year. Uh, they'll do mediocre. That's about it.
Hmm.
Um, Moving to 22, they had the Chicago Bears.
We
I
moved them up
believe,
pretty far too. We
yeah,
moved them the whole
and
way up to 12.
wow, yeah, big jump. And at 22, that's where we put the Panthers. They were originally at 30. We jumped them up quite a bit. Understandably, I don't think a lot of people disagree there, to be honest. Yeah, so Moving on to 21, like I said, the Raiders were just there. We dropped the Rams down 4 spots down to 21 just because they're becoming a train wreck in my opinion. They're only going to get worse here unless they have some drastic changes.
Yeah, I think a lot of their problem is who they got at quarterback, honestly. They paid him
And
way too much money to not be good.
yeah, and with losing Todd Gurley, they're still paying him quite a bit as well.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I don't blame them trading Gurley at all, but the amount of
Poor,
money they threw at him, oh my god.
poor Aaron Donald.
So coming in at 20, they had the Jets. We kind of shat on that, kind of just threw them down there, reasonably so. And for 20, we put the Browns. So the Browns were originally at 19. We just moved them back a spot just because they're the Browns. Come on now. Johnny, at 18, I'm going to let you take over, so I'll do this next one.
Okay.
So at 19, like I said, the Browns were just there. We put the Falcons at 19 just because the Falcons have such a good offense, but they can't ever seem to like capitalize off of it. They're always, I don't want to say like a disappointment, but ever since the Super Bowl, they've just been kind of going downhill from there. They originally were at 18, so we only dropped them down a spot, so not really a big difference.
Yep. And then, all right, so I'm taking over here at 18. Like you said, Falcons were there for them. And then we have the Buccaneers there. That was actually -6 of where they had them. They had the Falcons the whole way up. I mean, not the Falcons, the Buccaneers the whole way up at 12 because.
Just because they got Tom Brady.
Yeah, just because they got Tom Brady. And then, at 17, they had the Rams, which I think is too high for the Rams. Even like they have so much talent, but like that division's so, and I just don't like. I just don't like them. I don't know. They just rub the wrong way. But anyway, yeah, they actually had them falling down 3 spots originally from whatever power rankings they had, I guess, to 17. And then at 17, we have the Texans, which is falling down 2 of where they had them at 15. And then 16, they have the Patriots, and they have them dropping down 8 spots just because of Tom Brady. And in my personal opinion, I think it's all Belichick. I really don't see the Patriots not being the Patriots this year.
Yep.
So they have them at 16, falling 8 spots, and we bumped them way up. We had them at 9, which I feel like they could do even better than that. But that's where we have them because we mutually agreed on. We made some compromises. And then on our 16, we had the Arizona Cardinals finally, and that's +7 of where they had them. We talked about them a while ago.
Yeah, we got a big year coming for the Cards after picking up D-Hop.
Oh hell yeah! And this is accounting for that. Like they counted D-Hop in this list, so don't think that they didn't. I don't know why they have them so bad, but Kyler Murray with all those receivers.
Oh my goodness!
And then after this one, you can take over. Then they had the Texans at 15. Like we said, we had them at 17. We had them a little bit worse, and we have the Dallas Cowboys there actually, which is -4 of where they had them, which they would have them at 11 on this list. So we'll be getting to them.
Yeah. So moving down to 14. Originally they had the Vikings there. We dropped the Eagles down 5 spots from 9 to 14. Eagles, I mean, I don't know. Their running back game, who knows? It's like a committee. They're having Miles Sanders being the lead back this year, but he was good, but he wasn't like that good last year. So I don't know what's going to happen there.
Eagles are just goofy. I don't really. They're tough to rank.
Yeah, they are a tough team to rank. I mean, last year they did have a lot of injuries on offense, so that played a key factor in them not doing as well, but who knows?
And their secondary, yeah. They were just banged up. Still beat Dallas for the division, so.
So 13, they had the Colts. We bumped them up quite a bit in our ranking. We'll get to that later. For 13 for us, we just moved the Vikings up 1 from 14 to 13. They should do really well this year, even after losing Diggs and Xavier Rhodes. They draft strong. I don't see them having any issues at all this year.
Yeah, this power rankings didn't include Xavier Rhodes. I don't know if it would have influenced them moving them up at all, but that's like the only major signing that wasn't included into this power ranking.
Yeah. Yep. Number 12, they had the Buccaneers, which is just a joke. I mean,
Yeah,
Not
I
really.
mean, I I don't know. They could be really good, but like just the like if they didn't get Tom Brady, would they have them at 12 right now? No. So
If they
no.
got Philip Rivers, I would put them at 12, not Tom Brady.
Yeah, no meme,
I'm just
same.
being honest. I mean,
No meme.
Tom Brady can't throw a deep ball anymore, and you got two guys who can really catch a deep ball very well. So
Hmm.
who knows? So at number 12, we went plus 10 with the Bears, moved them all the way up to 12.
That
That's
defense should
with,
resurrect.
oh yeah, and their running back, David Montgomery, I think his name is. He's going to get only get better there, and hopefully Mitch Trubisky can get his head out of that and be better.
Oh, they don't need them to. They got Big Dick Nick now,
Oh,
boys.
that's right. That is right. They did get Nick. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. They should do way better this year then.
Yes, sir.
Uh, so going to number 11, that's where they originally had the Cowboys. We dropped them like we just stated. For number 11, we have the Packers, which we dropped 6 spots.
Yeah,
Um,
the Packers were so damn lucky last year with their wins, in my opinion. But when aren't they? The Packers are just a lucky fucking team.
yeah, the Packers, their luck's going to run out here pretty soon, I think.
Hmm.
Um, so I'll do number 10, then I'll give it off to you. Number 10, they had the Pittsburgh Steelers. We moved them up a few spots here. And we actually, for number 10, dropped the Seahawks. We kind of switched the Seahawks and the Steelers. So the
Yeah.
Seahawks, we dropped 3, so we have them at number 10.
You mean to tell me that we're called YinzersView and we move the Steelers up?
I
No,
know they
never.
should definitely they should be number 1 in my opinion. But here we are.
All right, I'll get a 5, and then you can finish us off. All right,
Okay.
so at 9 they had the Eagles, and we bumped them down to 14, which I feel was fair. I don't really understand why they had them at 9. Well, they did get Darius Slay, I suppose. Oh, they actually did beef up their defense pretty well, and
Yeah.
Wentz can make it happen even when his receivers all have cinder blocks for hands. So I mean, I get why they have them there, but I think they're not that good. So I feel like 14 was pretty justified, and we replaced them with the Patriots, like I said earlier. And my reason for that is maybe you heard of him, Bill Belichick. And then 8, they had the Buffalo Bills, which we have the Buffalo Bills at 5. We moved them up. And we replaced them with the Ravens. We have the Ravens falling 5 spots because I think the hype on them is just absolutely ridiculous. That's
Yep. People are
all.
going to learn to tackle Lamar Jackson here pretty soon. So
Yeah, and the MVP is getting microscoped every damn time, and can he handle it? I mean, there's not too many times where an MVP comes out of nowhere and he continues to do awesome, unless your name's Pat Mahomes,
yep.
and you know what I mean. But okay, so number 7, they had the Seahawks, and we bumped them down, like we said, to 10, which isn't that big of a jump. I feel like the Seahawks, even though I really like the Seahawks, were also a lucky team in a lot of aspects. Not as lucky as the Packers, but they had a lot of luck on their side, I think. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't think Chris Carson is as good as he just was this past year.
I don't
And
think
with
so
as much as
either.
they lean on the run, with as much as they lean on the run game, Russell Wilson's just magical. And if he isn't, and Chris Carson isn't as I kind of expect him to be, I could see them falling from grace, kind of, because their
Yeah.
time's ticking. But when they got Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll, so they're still, even in that tough division, they should make playoffs. And
Mm-hmm.
then that's where we had the Steelers, like we said, +3. And why? Because fuck you. That's why we love the Steelers. That's why.
Eric
So,
Ebron.
but realistically, Ben coming back healthy and everything, and the defense probably being even better, which is crazy. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but if the Steelers aren't a top 10 team this year, then I feel like there's some heads got to get rolling.
I'll probably cry if I'm being honest with you.
Okay, and then the Titans are at 6 for them, and we actually have the Titans up 2 at 4 because Tannehill is the goat. That is why. But no, the Titans are actually just a really well balanced team, and I think they showed a lot in playoffs, playing all the away games they did, and imagine them
They're,
in some home games.
yep, they're only going to get better.
If they were in Tennessee, what are the odds you think that they would have beat the Chiefs?
A lot better than they were in Kansas City, but I still think the Chiefs would have came out on top. But
That's easy to
with
say
the
because they
other,
won the Super Bowl, but I'd
yeah,
say like a 40% chance,
yeah,
just
it
to
would have been
slap
a
percentage on there.
They would have been very close.
Yeah, I like the Titans a lot coming into this year. And then they had the Packers grossly overrated as always with everything because in my opinion, Aaron Rodgers hasn't shown us being a super elite quarterback in quite some time. So, but whatever. Let's just talk about how he throws Hail Marys, I guess. But anyway, they have them grossly overrated at 5, in my opinion. We had them drop to 11, which I could see them even doing worse because that division should be pretty nutty besides the
Yeah.
Lions. And at 5, like we said earlier, we had the Bills there.
Yep. And
Oh,
then,
by the way, my bad. Whenever we were talking about 6 with the Titans, we had the Colts there at 6. We have them going up +7,
yep.
and Phillip Rivers. All right, Austin, go ahead, take it away.
All right. So number 4, they had the Saints, which I don't think they gave the Saints enough justice, especially with Drew Brees coming back. So we bumped them up one spot. And then, like Johnny just said, we have the Titans at number 4, just because they're only going to get better, like I just said. Can't say anything bad about that team overall. So number 3, they have the Ravens, and like we just said, we dropped them down to number 8, just because teams are going to start playing Lamar Jackson a lot closer now, and he's going to have to win some games with his arm, which I really don't think he can do. And number 3, like I said, we just brought the Saints up there. So number 2, they have the 49ers. We agreed with them there. Just went to the Super Bowl. Solid
Didn't
team
really
overall.
lose anything other than Emmanuel Sanders, but
which they can get back in the
better
draft.
step up. Yeah.
And number 1, of course, which everyone should agree with, or else you're an idiot, is the Kansas City Chiefs, which they got that right as well.
Yep, you got the MVP, the NFL MVP, and then Super Bowl MVP, and he could have honestly even had a chance at winning MVP again if he wasn't hurt for when he was. And he still has a top 2 tight end in the NFL. He still has one of the best wide receiver groups, even if they let go of Sammy Watkins.
And a solid defense.
Yeah, and their line's damn good too. Like, and they have a phenomenal head coach too. So it's not like they have a talk. They're number 1.
Yeah. Well, that was our list compared to their list. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you have any feedback, feel free to comment if whose list you think was better. Your thoughts on that. Anything else you want to add, Johnny?
I'll just talk about who we had moving the biggest fluctuation, just to recap. So starting from the very bottom, we had the Jets -7 of where they had, so the whole way down the 27. So they actually had the Jets being kind of mediocre, which we disagree with. We have Cincinnati +5, what they said, because Joe Burrow. Panthers +8, because there's just no reason they should have been as low as they were. That was just ridiculous, which we put them at 2. Then the Buccaneers, we have -6, because we don't think Tom Brady is the godsend all of their answers. You know what I mean? And then the Cardinals +7 because D-Hop. And then Bears +10 because we just think with Nick Foles and the defense will bounce back. Packers -6 because overrated. Bill Belichick puts the Patriots +7 for us. Ravens -5. Colts +7. And that's all of our biggest moves, I'd say.
Yeah,
yep,
pretty
and
much.
That really recaps it. That's the biggest differences we have with the experts. So.
All right, guys. Well, thank you again so much for watching the video. Hope you enjoy. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Hope you guys have a good night.
See you.